Yeah, I know how good I am, and I don't worry about, like, if this guy's gonna beat me or this guy's, trying to. I just don't let that stuff bother me.
One of the main events, the number one in the country, Keith Gavin, the defending champ here in the EWL. Well, last year he got through West Virginia. It was Kurt Brenner a year ago. Tonight it's Chance Litton. What about Litton?
Well, Litton's he's been a pretty good athlete. Was really just learning how to wrestle. He was fairly decent in high school that way, but you know what? College is a whole new matter, and actually in this match in the dual meet was a fairly close match. Litton, one of the few people that actually started out in front, took Gavin down in the first period.
Litton with a win in the semifinals against Phil Morconi of Edinburgh, 10-5. Gavin, a major decision against Tom Coker, highly regarded out of Lockhaven, one of their really good young wrestlers on the move with Rocky Bonomo there and the Bald Eagles. Got a bye, Gavin did. I guess when you're number one in the country, you get the first round off.
I'll tell you what, that sound bite when you're listening to him talk, that is the mindset of a guy who's a champion. Basically what he's saying is, I don't care who I'm wrestling. Doesn't matter. I know that I'm pretty good. I'm good in certain places. I'm going to wrestle the best I can to the style that makes me pretty good, and I've been successful doing that. And it's up to them to stop me. I'm not going to stop myself. And that's the kind of mindset you want to have.
Gavin, the national runner-up last year at 174. This year, number one and the favorite here in a couple of weeks. And here we go with Litton getting busy, but he can't finish the move, and now he does.
Well, Gavin
was impressive.
Well, Gavin tried that inside trip, and he had Litton in trouble, but Litton was able, again, showed some athletic ability, some balance, and being able to kind of turn on that, and was able to knock Gavin down to the ground, and obviously then pick him up and get himself a 2-point takedown. Gavin out real quick to get back on his feet.
Again, to go back to that point, the opening period, 3 minutes. It is long to be out there and exerting yourself physically like this.
Well, the first 3 minutes aren't so bad. It's the last 2 to 3 minutes, and that first 3 minutes is what takes the toll on those last couple. Because if the first 3 minutes seem long, then those last 4, they'll kill you.
Well, plus this time here, we asked Tim Flynn when we had him on microphone. Everybody's got some kind of ding, some kind of injury going on.
And you know what? That's probably the nature of almost every sport. Nobody gets down to the end of the year, regardless of the sport you're in, and feels great by the time the end of the year comes.
Here's Litton again. Very impressive. Just physically, just lifts him right off his feet.
Try that inside trip, and Gavin kind of had an over, but Litton was kind of double undered in that and was able to pop his hip up in the air and get him down to the mat. That's Gavin's game. He likes those trips. There's a double leg. Litton's able to get his hip back, get his hip down and back, and is able to counter that. Now, one of the challenges Gavin has, and it's really the only one, is he's not the quickest guy in the world. So if he does wrestle people that are really athletic, sometimes that may give him a little bit of some trouble. But he's so good at just staying in good position and being methodical about things and just kind of breaking people down over time, wearing out on a corner and things along those lines until he gets that opening, and then he scores.
All right, now we've got Litton out, as you can see on your screen, 2-1 as we're counting out the last seconds of the opening period. Long way to go, but if Litton wins this, I can assure you that this will fly like the wind around the country, this particular result.
Oh, no doubt about that.
Everybody's in championship weekend here.
Exactly. Number one in the country. You expect number one in the country to remain number one in the country all the way to the end and not fall in their conference championships.
Got this Pitt, West Virginia thing going on out here too.
There's maybe been a little rivalry between those two schools over the years.
But that's what makes it great too.
Single leg by Litton, and this gets his head to the outside. Look, Gavin, just that
got his leg
flexibility turned like that.
Leg was turned a little awkward, and the whistle came. Craig Turnbull is a little fuzzy. He wanted that to continue, but I think the official had the right call. That leg was getting in a dangerous area there.
Well, there's no doubt that it's in a dangerous area. I guess some of the challenges you look at when the coaching staff is going to look at, well, our guy didn't put him there. He put himself there. So, and again, a nice little scramble going on. Gavin in. This time he's in on the double leg a little bit better, and Litton has to use a little hip action to get himself out of there, and they go out of bounds.
Should have known it go to the wire. I mean, during the dual meet season, Gavin was a 4-2 winner against Litton, and right now it's 2-2 in the second period, and we've got a little blood here. When we talked about the leg, the officials right there had a good angle on it. Take us in, Tony.
Well, look, you know, most people's legs don't bend like that. Now, Gavin has a little more flexibility there than most people do, and you're always going to get that called as potentially dangerous. Because I don't know about you, mine doesn't bend that way.
No,
I wouldn't get anywhere near that.
And rightfully so. The referee
certainly
has a chance to step in and blow the whistle there.
That's why they have that potentially dangerous rule there. We might get this blown here pretty quick because Gavin's headgear looks like it's sliding back on him.
Now here, I guess your decision, you're shoulder to shoulder, and you're wondering, when am I going to attack? Well, there's a big move right there that worked out for Gavin. Again, Litton couldn't close it. Gavin turned it on him and goes up 4-2.
And like you said before, like we talked about with earlier on with Gregor Gillespie's match, one mistake. He makes one mistake. He tries to roll through this. Gavin, I mean, he's #1 in the country. He's a veteran. This is not something that's going to happen to him, and he ends up with a 2-point takedown because Litton became a little bit, a little high-risk kind of move and gives up 2 points that way.
Well, the worst thing you can be against the #1 guy is rolling backwards. It's no way to really catch yourself a little bit. I mean, he's going to dictate tempo off that move and did there.
Exactly, you know, and he does a great job of staying in good position no matter where he is. And you're just not going to catch him on things like that.
Gavin seems to be gaining momentum. I mean, this is still anybody's match, but you see Gavin now beginning to kind of seize control of this thing from the top.
Well, again, when you look at it, he's just very methodical. He goes about wearing people down. He's a little awkward in some ways, and so that throws people off a little bit. And if you looked at the points that were scored in the match by Litton, they were really off of Gavin's move. And actually, the point that Gavin scored was off of Litton doing something that was a little off. So now Gavin's got the advantage, 2-1, and Litton is not going to take down because Gavin's very, very good on top.
Well, we start the third period. It's anybody's bout at 174. And here comes Chance Litton.
Does a good job. Gets in on that single, changes it to a high crotch, and Litton tried to sit around the corner a little bit, but Gavin did a nice job of blocking him off and not letting his hip slide out there, and sits him down on the mat, gets himself a 2-point takedown.
What's that old adage you preach, right? Sometimes the best offense, a good defense. Well, that's 4 points I can convert now with Gavin, where, you know, it was Litton who was being the aggressor.
Oh, no,
but
no doubt
Gavin
about
just,
that.
there's no room.
No, not at all. Watch him. Watch him. If you want to watch people, Gregor Gillespie, keep Gavin here, you're looking at people who stay in good position. They don't get out of the way. They do things fundamentally sound. Pulling forward, tries to work a little angle, those kinds of things. And he might not score 40 points in a match or anything along those lines, but he's going to give up 2, 3 tops. Most of them are going to probably be escapes. The points that he gives away as opposed to points that people earn in terms of takedowns and things like that.
I've talked to folks. I mean, we talk about 165 and 157. 174 is a brutal weight class at the national level, and for, you know, Gavin to be ranked #1 with that kind of an August group is major.
Well, it certainly helps him when you're the returning runner-up, and you know, he wrestled a very good tournament last year and lost to Ben Askren in the finals. But you know what? He was one of the few people in the country that kind of went at Askren a little bit. And that's the kind of mentality you want to have in order to be a national champion.
Tell you what, Chance Litton, nothing. He lost 4-2 during the regular season. He loses 7-3 in the EWL final. But again, defensively, Gavin is just flawless in this match. 4 points he converts with Litton going on offense.
Well, Litton just didn't take a very good shot. Here's Litton trying to work around that corner. Here's the end of the match, and Gavin's just going to hang there, keeps his weight down on his shoulder like that. Litton's not going to be able to find himself out, and Litton makes the mistake. See how his shoulder gets a little outside, his hip scoots around.